All right, here is the new project for me. It's a 99 Oldsmobile Bravada, all-wheel drive, smart track, whatever they call it. It's my uncle's, and if I can get it running and get it out of here, get it cleaned up, it's mine. So, spent a few years underneath some pine trees and plenty of debris and sap and nice algae growing all over it, but looks lovely. Needs a good cleaning, but I think I can bring it back and think it'll live to drive another day. That's where it's been sitting the last good while. My uncle says it's been about 1.5 years. He started it and moved it forward a foot and parked it, and hasn't been running, hasn't been started since. But it's always was kind of a third vehicle for them until nature started to take it over, and then it didn't seem appealing to drive or wasn't needed in any situation. But yeah, I don't know if it's sinking or if it's just the nature taking over. But here a couple weeks ago and got the passenger side doors open. We'll see if the things thawed out a little bit. So much debris in the door jambs that kind of, let's see if this is gonna come open. Yeah, there we go. Yikes. But there is I could tell there was a issue with humidity throughout the vehicle as it's been sitting here. And oh geez, tailgate struts are done, but got that trusty pull there we used last time because this was the only way I could get into the vehicle before. There's no signs of water intrusion from the sunroof that I could find, but it definitely, especially the front cabin area, has gotten some yucky mold stuff, but nothing I can't handle to clean up. The roof looks good, and under the floor mats is relatively good. Like I said, this is a 99. I think they only came in one trim, base model or something, but you could get heated seats, which this doesn't have. It comes with a 6-disc CD changer, automatic, auto 4-wheel drive. I don't believe this has a low. It's just a electronic 4-wheel drive engagement setup, but left the hood popped last time because it was a pain to get up here. Got the old 4.3 liter V6. Yeah, should be all right here. Still got washer fluid, brake fluid. I think when I checked the coolant, didn't look like it had any. Can't tell if there's anything down there. Try the cap here. Something definitely has been in here, and got the headliner. Insulation on the hood. I have no idea how this opens. Keep turning it, or is the quarter turn enough? I'll mess with that here in a second. I left this napkin in here a couple weeks ago. Looks like it's already been chewed up. Joy. Can't wait to find out all the nests. Definitely gonna open up the air cleaner and kind of go through everything. I don't know, I might do an oil change before I start it up for the first time. Not sure if it's the angle it's sitting on, but every time it sits here, the oil climbs up the dipstick. And I highly doubt, because if you clean it off and then check it, it just shows just a hair above the full line. But yeah, brought a leaf blower, battery was replaced September of 2017, and it's probably been frozen a couple times while dead. We're gonna hook I brought my generator. I'm gonna hook a battery charger up to it while I'm going through everything. See if this battery will take a charge. I believe at one point in time this had a parasitic draw, so my uncle put in this little disconnect for the negative side to disconnect the battery, as this thing would sit for weeks on ends and not be driven. Try and keep the battery alive, but I don't know. Could have been a dead cell in the battery drawing it down, but something to look into if and when this thing gets running again. So yeah, if I can get it running, I'm gonna go through it and give it a good tune up and a bunch of stuff it needs from just sitting. Some fluid changes. See if the it seems like it freed up. Fan clutch. See if the fan clutch stuck on when I get it running. But yeah, I'm gonna get this battery charger set up and probably open the air box up and see what I can do. Alrighty, got the generator going, extension cord. We were hooked up with a battery charger. However, it's flashing battery reconditioning, which I've never seen it do, I imagine because it's completely dead. No matter what I do with the settings, I bumped it up to 15 amp whenever it decides it wants to try and charge. I don't know if this battery is completely shot, but I may have to hook some jumper cables to my car and see if I can get it to come alive enough to take a charge. But we'll see what this does while I'm doing some other stuff. I'm going to get my air compressor and get all kinds of goodies and stuff in here, but I need this and charged up 3 batteries. Love this thing, but the M12 inflator is more or less for topping your tires off, not inflating them from 10 psi or whatever these things are down to. Now that I own some M18 stuff, kind of want to sell this one in spring for a M18. Well, there's something in there. All of them seem to be equally as flat, so we will see. Wow, 21 psi. Well, I think I'm gonna put it to 40 for the sake of trying to get this out. Tires were replaced not terribly long ago. Let's see, max psi 44. We'll go 38. We'll let that thing sit. Hopefully 3 batteries is enough to get all 4 of them up to 38 psi, but if not, I have just a normal 12 volt in there. 12 volt tire pump. All right, I'm gonna start cracking open some stuff in the engine compartment and taking a look at what. And I also brought brought my cordless leaf blower. So we're gonna open all the doors up and blow out as much junk as we can from door jams and engine compartment. So I'll be back. All right, status update. Tricked the smart charger into applying a charge. Seems to be putting out 5.2 amps right now, even though it's set to 15. Let's see if it ramps up some more. Just had to unplug it, plug it back in, and then instantly try and get it to force 15 amps. Running a little fan, so must be doing something. We'll see if it holds a charge. But got two tires to 38, 39 psi. Started on this one. Looks like battery's dead. 21. It was at 14. So yeah, get this battery switched out. All right, dead batteries over there. Good batteries over here. All right, back up to 38. All right, was able to undo all the screws on the air box. Had to get kind of creative. I was using the impact, but I couldn't get my impact down to that screw, and it started to strip. So I got out my trusty couple bits and nut driver. So I also cracked that loose. See what we can see in here, if there is anything. Does this still need loosened? I'm only down one Phillips bit. Drop that down and hit a piece of plastic. Not sure if I'll ever get it back or not. There we go. Let's see if this still needed some more switching rings. Some of these pretty seized up. Yeah, that's all free. Let's see what we can do. No, this is maybe this is seized up. Put the camera down. Well, I don't know. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't any nests. Looks pretty clean on the top side. It's like an old Fram filter. And it's got some stuff in there, but looks like from normal use, not a nest. So that's good to go back together. And so I'll put that back together. Oh, that was loose. Must have left that. Actually, really nothing locking down on that. Yeah, that's weird. Must be a GM thing. Make sure nothing's gotten into here. That all looks good. Nothing looks corroded like crazy. I blew this off a little bit, but it's gonna take me getting it home and using the pressure washer. This is simply all I'm trying to do is get it running and driving to hobble it over in the middle of the night back to my house, where I can then really tear it down and make sure things are good. I don't know. Not sure if I'm going to change oil here or change it at home. Looks like we're up to 6.2 amps on that. Let's see what the tranny fluid looks like. Nice and red. It's holding fluid. Hopefully we don't have any oil cooler lines, trans fluid lines rusted up. My uncle bought this in 04. It's a 99. Bought it in 2004. I think it had 110,000 on it when he bought it. I think, last I remember, I thought it had 170, maybe 160, maybe not even that much, but he usually does a good job documenting stuff. So, date of purchase approximately June 10th. 2004. Oil undercoat. Yeah, I remember he had that happen. Had that done. Not that it's worth anything now, because it's definitely worn off, but at least it was an oil and not a rubberized undercoating, or else this thing would probably be in half by now. 2010. 2014. Oh, had brakes. Brakes at 146. Maybe there's not as many miles as I think on this. Pinion seal, U-joints in the rear, fuel filter, vent valve, fuel pump on 2014. And really, that's for the most part when this thing started really getting parked. Let's see, O2 sensor, transfer case, synthetic oil. Yeah, I think I've recharged the AC before. I'm not sure how well it reseal bead and balance right front tire, but it's gotten tires since then. So I've got this to document things. Nothing living in there, no creatures. Anything I find of value that's his, I'll be taking out and giving to him. Wonder what this looks like back in here. Well, oh. So we got something. I do recall last summer I was in here, and at least in the door jambs was infested with ants, and it was quite nasty. But not a whole lot inside, but definitely on the door jambs. There have been creatures living anywhere and everywhere possible. There we go. It's like we got some halogen bulbs of some age. Huh. 9006, so. Well, they're still sealed in the packaging. Looks like some water has trickled down this door at some point. Yeah, it's probably attributed to some of the moldiness, but thankfully it doesn't look like, you know, it's within the seat. So I'm hoping probably take the front seats out when I go to detail this thing and see how much it needs in the rear. But wiper blades, yeah, seen better days. I think the fronts are just as bad, just rotting. Something I had no idea, but this pops the, oh, I wonder if it's electronic. This pops the rear glass, which I don't think I've ever had that open, but I don't know. I remember this thing in high school. I'm 31 now, and when I was 18, I used to come down and help them with projects and pull a trailer with this thing, and if I remember correctly, the, oh, that other tire must be done. The rear, not sure if they serviced the rear end and never put an additive in, the GM fluid, but the rear end has always seemed to be engaged in the limited slip, or, you know, it has clutch packs in there, and clutch packs seem to always have been seized, making it wheel hop when you do tight corners. Oh, This would be nice if I can get this thing out of here. I don't think I'm changing oil in this mess. I don't feel like climbing underneath there. So we've had 20, 21. Right rear had 14, and this one has 20. So they seem to have all held pressure relatively well. See if I can climb under here and get a date code, because we're thinking, I don't know, sometime in the 20 teens he had put tires in this BF Goodrich long trail maybe. It's the best one for me to climb under. It's sitting underneath a chestnut tree too, so I don't feel like getting pricked in the back. This is probably the most cleared out. These tires don't have the date code on the outside. They're white wall on the inside, so I believe the date code, from what I was reading up online, the date code should be on the inside white wall side of the tire. So I wasn't able to check the date, but they have little to no miles on them. I mean, they're practically brand new. I don't see any dry rot or anything, so hopefully just took a glance underneath there in the frame. Look good. Hopefully the body mounts still have some life. Frame rail looks pretty decent. Nothing crumbling. Luckily they made all this lower half body panels out of plastic, which could either be covering up heaps and heaps of rust, or let's see what that looks like. Pretty decent. We're having, let's see, this thing's still 7.1 amps. So what's next? It's got good oil level, just old oil. It's got good trans fluid. Oh, that's right, I was never able to get this. Try and work on this coolant. Reservoir I don't think has anything in it. So, oh, air compressor just stopped. Could be dead, but it's probably full. All right, I'm gonna work on checking out coolant next. Be back. All right, so I finally got the cap off for the radiator, and I could not see any fluid. This was for the most part dry. I brought some 50/50. I was going through the glove box and found that a shop back in 2014 put in AutoZone antifreeze. So I'm hoping this isn't Dex Cool. I imagine it's been converted to standard antifreeze. At least I'm hoping, but I'm not going to spend the Dex Cool on this yet. So I put in the normal greenish yellow antifreeze of what I brought, which was only about a quarter gallon, and I'm going to finish it off with some water, I suppose, in the meantime, and then later on I can flush this and actually flush everything out and actually put, I'm going to keep it with the yellow stuff. I don't really see the benefit in Dex Cool on a 24-year-old vehicle, so yeah, so almost ready for keys. This thing's up to taking 9.1 amps, but I don't know if it's gonna be any good. I don't have high hopes, but if I need to go get a battery, I'll go get a battery. But all right, so stay tuned, I'll be back. Alrighty, progress. Let's see, battery's still taking 14.7 amps. She's not getting warm or anything, but she's still taking amps. I finally unhooked this, clamped the battery down. I did get some sparkage, so got hood light, interior lights on, hooked the battery charger back up. It's still doing its thing. I had a quarter gallon of radiator fluid 50/50 mix. I put that in. That still needed more, so I went and got my aunt and uncle here have reverse osmosis water, so guess second best thing to distilled, but probably do a flush later on anyhow. But went ahead and put some in the reservoir, and as much as the radiator would take here, and I'll kind of monitor that as I don't think it took, how much is this? Oh yeah, not much. So I might have had to put in a ½ gallon. So hopefully the motor still had quite a bit. The radiator was probably 3/4 of the way full still, so that's a good thing. No leaks yet. Let's try and cycle the key. And we got dome lights. Got 151, 131 on the clock. So, she's just getting broke in, right? And we barely got 12 volts down there, but regardless, we got 12 volts. Oh, we got 3/4 of a tank. Let's see, what else? We got radio. Cool. I'm not even gonna try the blower motor yet. I don't know, maybe I should. Okay, I don't know what that did, but it made a weird noise. Let's try, if I put it to that, it's made like a groaning noise, like it was running. Is that my breath or was that smoke? Let's see. I don't know. Nah, there's something blocking air. But the motor was rumbling. Okay, that's auto. Oh, AC. How do I get the AC to not be on? There it goes. That didn't change anything. I don't know, it sounded like it was... sounded like the blower was turning, but not blowing anything out, so... could be where the nest is, because I know there's got to be something somewhere. Just gonna cycle this key a couple times. I'm gonna check for some leaks, see if we got a fuel line, see if the fuel lines are any good. I don't hear anything. Kind of hard to hear if there's a fuel pump running. Is there a Schrader valve up here? I don't even know where the fuel lines run up to. Oh, that's right. Is this throttle body injected? I don't know. How long did they do that for? Oh, okay. I do see a Schrader valve down there. I guess I could check for fuel pressure, but I'm gonna try not to disrupt, spread fuel anywhere while this thing's trying to start. I don't know. I say let's hit the key. Hit the key and see what happens. Yeah, these blower motors are not fun to get out. It honestly looks worse than... it's worse than my 97 S10 was. I have to pull the computer out, reservoir. I think if that is, yeah, that's gotta be the blower. Okay. We still got, oh yeah, we're still full there. I'm gonna hit the key, see what she does. I'll be shocked if it's got enough cranking amps to turn over, but All right, supposedly first start in a year and a half. I'm thinking it's more like 3, 4, maybe 5, but maybe first start, we'll see. Here we go. Yeah, she cranked, but not enough amps. All right, jumper cables, here we come. I'll be back. Alrighty, jumper cables hooked up. See if the Honda has what it takes. You know, 625 cold cranking amps. Which really, I mean, oh, that's interesting. The highest rated battery I could find was 700 cold cranking amps, but this is 875. But I don't know, I hope this battery comes back. It seems to be taking a charge. I just don't feel like giving it the time it needs. So, that being said, all right, radiator's still full. It's taking juice. Let's see if she fires up. Ended up propping the tailgate up. Start putting some stuff in there. Alright, let's see what she's got. Cool. Some noise up front. Oh, okay. Alright, she stalled out. Not sure what that... Ooh. Something smells less than good. Is that the alternator? The alternator's cool. For kicks and giggles, I'm gonna go see if I can find a fire extinguisher just in case. There is a lot of fuel here for a bad day. So I'm gonna let this kind of sit and charge a little bit longer. Not sure why it stalled out. Hopefully it's not a fuel issue, but maybe a fuel pump. Not sure if that was kind of a hissing noise, but could just be these, could be a tensioner that's not happy. I don't know, we'll see. So I'll be back. All right, found out what the funky smell is. There is something here that is seized up. I don't know if that's the alternator. I guess I could feel here. Oh yeah, that's the alternator. Alternator is seized up. Wonder if I can free that up by turning it. Gosh, it shouldn't be. Hoping it's not done, but I'm gonna throw a wrench on that, see if I can get it to turn, and I'll be back. I did fire it back up and gave it a couple revs. It is this whatever's held up here is what's causing it to stall out. As soon as I started to rev it up, something started to squeal, something fierce, and I'm seeing some rubber parts on that tensioner. So I think kind of looks like, oh yeah, this belt, she is hot. And I think what's hottest is this pulley right here. So stay tuned. Okay, I don't have a socket with me that'll fit that. I don't have an Allen key bolt that'll fit that. adjustable crescent wrench doesn't seem to, can't really get on that very well to turn it. So I resorted to smacking it quite a bit and see if I could jostle it enough to free it up. So let's see. I don't know, maybe you guys hang out here and let's see. See if that turns. All right, judging by the sound of that, didn't sound like whatever it was freed up, so I'm gonna review the footage since I couldn't see it. Be back. All right, seeing as how that seems to be the culprit, I'm gonna go ahead and try and get the belt off and see if I can do some finagling to better assist that pulley to turn. If not, I'd rather not run it much without the belt on, because then that means the water pump, well, let's see here. This water pump, oh, water pump must not be, oh, yeah, I think it is. And the fan clutch as well. I think the water, yeah, it looks like water pump is run off the same pulley as the fan clutch. So power steering, AC, alternator, everything is running on the serpentine belt. So like I said, I'm gonna pull that belt off and see if I can't find something to get on that, try and turn it. So stay tuned. All right, well, back to the alternator. Kind of searched high and low in my uncle's shed for some motor oil, because I'm hoping YouTube saves the day. So the thing about alternators that sit, it's not necessarily the bearings that seize up, but it's the plates within the windings. There's such a tight tolerance between the windings and the steel components of the alternator that buildup can happen. Things can seize up in there. So turn into YouTube, and a guy preached, and I even watched it in the comments to make sure it wasn't an April Fool's joke, but supposedly you can pour motor oil or trans fluid or oil over the windings and let it work its way down in the windings to potentially free up the alternator. So you're supposed to pour little bits in the windings and then start working the pulley back and forth, and hopefully it gets in there and frees things up. So it's a gift that keeps on giving. After I searched high and low in the shed and only came up with a bottle of old ATF fluid and 2-stroke motor oil mix, decided, well, why wouldn't I just look inside the vehicle, and found this under the driver's seat, and I think it's a brand new bottle. Feels full. Mobile 1 5W30. So hopefully this does the trick. So I'm going to crack this open. And we're just gonna dump the whole thing right on the up. No, I'm just kidding. Ugh, kind of looks. Yikes. Well, it smells fine. I don't know how well this is gonna go, but this is what the guy said to do, and he says it doesn't hurt the windings at all. So I don't know. Maybe that'll be enough. Maybe a little bit for good measure. Regardless, it's probably gonna end up being an alternator, but oh my goodness, what a mess. All right, well, I'm going to let this work itself in and try and work that pulley back and forth without screwing it up with channel locks, but I don't really have too many options. But Worst case scenario, I just get an alternator for it, since I haven't had to put any money in it yet. So we shall see. Stay tuned. Well, YouTube saves the day yet again. So she was completely seized up. We put some oil down in there, put a little bit of oil in there. I just very gently stuck my channel locks as wide as they would go on this, and it would move just a hair back and forth. And as soon as I'd get my hand on there, as soon as I'd get my hand on there, it'd get stuck again. But then I was able to put the channel locks on the bolt and just ream it back and forth, knock it back and forth, till she's now freed up. And she's spinning good, so both directions, and slight little bit of bearing noise in there, but I think all she needs now is to be run. Help work that oil in a little bit more, and I'm hoping that I've never decided to pour anything into an alternator, and don't know how this will affect it long term, but I always wrapped alternators in plastic when I'd pressure wash, because obviously water, electricity probably shouldn't mix, so try and prevent anything there. But hey, oil revives, motor oil at least I can speak for. Unfreeze an alternator. Not sure if it's going to make any power, but we'll see. Still cranking away on the battery. Yeah, we're gonna see if she starts on her own power now. If not, I'll have to hook the jumper cables back up. But hey, I'm gonna throw this belt back on, and we'll see if she'll fire back up and see how she runs. All right, belt is back on. Coolant's still holding at the top. Battery's still taking some juice. It'll probably throw that in error, but I'm gonna try and crank her over and see if she'll go this time without the need of a jump start. Ugh. All right, see what she does. There we go. Nice. Heck yeah. Hey, we're charging. Well, yeah, I would imagine we're charging over 14 volts, down to half tank of gas. All right, oil pressure looks good. Uh-oh, there we go. She's got some old gas in her. Yep, old gas. Hopefully she stays running. Let's check out the engine compartment. Battery charger stopped charging, so must have seen that it was 14.8 volts, meaning the alternator's doing its job. Our fluid or water dropped, so look at that, we got some headlights. Throw a little bit more water in there. Sounds healthy. Doesn't sound like she's skipping or missing, but when I revved it, it definitely did have a miss. No. slight hesitation, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw the cap on, because let's see if she'll move, get it out of this mess that's in. Ugh. That cap's on. That one's right here. Let's unplug this. Everything looks good up here. Main clutch definitely sounds like it is stuck on. See if that goes away, but see if she'll move. All right, I'm gonna get situated and get you set up, and we'll move it. All right, haven't even touched the brake pedal. I'm gonna find out here in a second if we got any brake pressure. Judging by the reservoir, I'm hoping we don't have a broken line. It's still full, so we'll see how she moves here. We got a little bit of smoke, so I went ahead and shut her down. No brakes, and I have a feeling something going on up here maybe. Foot pretty much went to the floor and brake light came on, so but she doesn't want to move yet. Yeah, those brakes are pretty rusted over, so I'm not surprised that it doesn't want to move. I didn't give it the full beans, but she's also struggling to have the power to push. Imagine this might have something to do with it too. I might try and gearing's probably gonna let it go forward a little bit better than it would backwards. So I think I'm going to try and get it to come forward and then try and work it back. All right. You gotta let the battery charge again. I don't know. Yeah, I'll give her some time. Wondering if the headlights shut off at one point in time, so I'm going to check and make sure the headlights are still working. Make sure we didn't blow a fuse or something, so I'll be back. All right, jumping from the car. Just seemed like it wasn't getting power. I had 14 volts at the terminals, at least the outside of the terminals. Battery, when disconnected, has 12 volts just sitting there. However, the gauge just didn't seem to, when it was hooked up to the car, it wouldn't read 14 like the source was supplying it. So I suspected that we had a power issue. Took the terminal off, and there was a whole bunch of corrosion between all the contacts of GM's wonderful battery connection here. You know, of course, it's hidden. You can't see it until you take it apart. Clean that up, hook the battery back up. Was able to find some sandpaper to make that happen because I didn't bring a wire brush or sandpaper or anything like that, nor did I have it in my toolbox. But the trusty shed came through for me once again. So I am hoping now. The other odd thing was, even with the ignition on, I wasn't able to pull this down into neutral. But anyhow, let's see if she wants to start. Still nothing. I can feel the connector on the brake pedal. Obviously, when this is off, you get nothing. Ignition on. I don't know, maybe they have a safety feature where it has to be started, but that's what's concerning to me, is the voltage. I mean, what's that? That's got to be 10, 11 volts. So maybe I need to hook the car back up. You know, it might have dropped since I flipped the ignition on. Maybe we still just need a little bit more juice. So I'll get that hooked up. All right, battery is hooked back up. We'll see what kind of voltage the gauge shows on it now. A little bit better, but I still feel like if my car is putting out 14 volts, I feel like this should be still not able. I checked fuses. I'm getting nothing, not even a click. There's just the stuff in the dash, which I feel like the accessories. I also found the starter relay, and it looked visually healthy, but I don't know what happened. She was running, shut her down, and it's not like the, well, it could be the solenoid, I guess. I'll have to look for the solenoid. Maybe tap on the solenoid, because the solenoid's not even clicking. This is the starter relay. Suppose I could swap these out, because that other one is, we got starter, and we got the rear defrost relay. swap those around. See if it's a relay. It is chilly. I think it's 44 degrees out, and my nose is running. Nothing. All right, we're on a hunt for a starter solenoid. I'm gonna leave those there. Maybe check and see if we get power to the solenoid. So I'm gonna take a look into that, and I'll be back. So I've been fudging with this thing for, I don't know, an hour and a half, and I've been stuck on why that gear shift will not move, and this starter just will not engage. And I've shorted the starter over, and it runs, but it free spins, or at least it sounds like it free spins. And that was puzzling to me. Why is the starter free spinning when it was engaging just fine before? It's just like the solenoid, and I tested. I've got over 12 volts at the starter. I've checked everything over, and I've been messing with this thing, screwing around, and then I just decided, you know what, flip the ignition on, and I'm gonna get out and walk for a second. And I come along here, and I catch something out of the corner of my eye. I go, oh, well, that's a bit odd. Why does it have the reverse lights on? Back to the gear select I go. That even though it's in park, it thinks it's in reverse. And I don't know if the linkage seized up, but this is in park, but the transmission is in reverse. So I don't know if I got to tear into this, or if I should just go down and look on the transmission. I think if I lay down on the side over here, I think the linkage is probably on the side of the transmission. And I'm going to mess around, see if I can reach up in there and force it into park. And yeah, maybe then I'll be able to start it again. Hopefully get it moved. But definitely finding the front, there's a leak in the front. Hopefully it's not the master cylinder. Hopefully it's just a line of some sort. I haven't really looked at it very much, but we put front lines on this before, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know yet what it is, but the pedal has pressure now, and that's probably just because of the rears. But front, definitely no brakes on the front. So that's a bummer. Hoping I can look for that. But anyhow, back to the transmission. Not going into park for some reason. All right. So maybe this thing succumbed to the rust gods more than I thought. But I'm gonna try and hold this. All right, under here, here's the reason why it's not on park. The gear shift is in park. Transmission was not, but I put it into park. There's reverse, neutral drive, 3, 2, 1, something like that. But that's in park now. I imagine there's a sensor in the transmission. But if I go up there and fire this thing up now, I'm gonna have to figure this out, whether I zip tie it temporarily or what. But yeah, whatever that linkage screw or something, hopefully it's just a, God, it almost looks like a rivet, but I'll have to see what this is going to take to get put back together. But all right, she's in park. Let's go fire it up. All right, reverse lights are off. She thinks it's in park, so ugh. Fired right up this time. All right. Now, obviously, wow, it's so easy to shift into gear now. Well, nice thing is, She just started on her own battery power. Alright, I still don't want to run this much until I can try and get it out of the spot it's in, so I'm going to go try and rig the gear select. Let's see. Inability to put a vehicle in park or any other gear because of no brakes. Yeah, it sounds like a nice risk, but I'm gonna go try and find some zip ties and see if I can reconnect this linkage temporarily to get this thing moving. Boy, that gas is bad. She's missing. And here's some coolant in the dash, so that's a good thing. She cleans up. Yeah. It's a little backfiring. She doesn't like much throttle. Steady. Yep, she purrs like a kitten though. All right, transmission time. All right, vice grips to the rescue. I'm hoping that I just basically clamped the thing to the lever off the transmission. I'm hoping that's enough to, I'm gonna try and rock this thing forward and then hopefully put it in reverse and see if it'll back out of the space it's in. Ugh. Whew. That was work. I'm hoping that's just bad gas. She did not like throttle, and man, it was in there. It was in there indeed. I mean, that had to have been in there 6-8 inches. All maybe not as bad in the rear, but I don't know. I found this stuff was sitting on the exhaust, some heat shield, been torn apart and braided. Missing a bit and a 10mm socket. Go figure. Both of which I believe are still on the vehicle somewhere. But one I knocked off of here. Oh, this might be gone forever in the fender. And the bit, I believe, is sitting down there on some kind of plastic shield on the bottom. But hey, she's out. I'm going to start looking at what brake line on the front is gone. Ugh, what a mess. But I might finagle this to get it on a level surface so I can look at it some more. But there she is, out of her ruts, out of her hole, alive. I think I popped this back window. Those struts still work. She needs some love. Hope I've got what it takes to give it to her. So, all right, let's figure out some brake lines here. I'll probably get in there and start it and turn the wheels each direction, see if I can find some fluid. I don't know, maybe I'll toss some more in there and pump a little bit more, see if I can get signs of where it may have popped. So, alrighty, I'll give you an update here soon. All right, so I repositioned, backed out, and got it here on a more flat surface to check some fluids. And she's still running. Had a massive vacuum leak, which is pretty normal. It's still hissing a little bit. I think this other line, oh, I guess I should probably try and cap that off entirely. But put a screw in there. I'll have to get one for over here. Probably cruise control stuff, HVAC. Pretty common, those rot out, cause vacuum leaks, but surprisingly it actually had brakes, and the reservoir, I didn't add that much, and all of a sudden it came back. So I don't know if there's a bunch of air in the lines or if it's actually holding, but it seemed like all 4 brakes were working, barely. But yeah, bump that out wide angle. Yeah, she's rough. It'll be a lot better once it's cleaned up, but we'll have to see what the underside turns out. It's definitely clearing up, taking throttle a lot better. Let me try and goose it. It's not hiccuping like it was. Maybe I'll pump the brakes a little bit. Let's see here. Top hose is warm. Check the temperature. Looks like yeah, we're still within range. Still warming up. Still charging. pumping the brakes, it doesn't like. Doesn't go straight to the floor. Definitely got some air in the lines. Wish I could try the heat, but I'm not running that fan until I tear it all apart. Make sure there's no nests in there. Rear hatch button worked. Makes noise. Yeah. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna keep plugging away. I don't know if I'm gonna take us out on the road and try and clean the brakes off or not. We shall see. Maybe just running it up and down the driveway. Build my confidence. But I do see oil change sticker. The only thing you can read on it yet is oil change at 157,507. So, and it's got 151, 131, so wow, that might just be rotation. Or it is, I don't know. Oh. Is that an oil change sticker up there? 147 something? I don't know. It's gonna get an oil change anyhow. I should probably shut her down, check the oil anyhow, so. Ooh. All right. All right, figured shut her down, check the oil here. It's just a little higher than desired, but not too high. Not too high. Not sure what I'm gonna do down here. I've got another screw I could try and shove in there, but this thing's so, gosh, this is all broke down, cracked up. Which happened on my 97, you know, when I had it 4 or 5 years ago. Basically every vacuum line was rotted off of it, and had to get some hose. I think I still have some hose, so maybe not this size, but I do have it this size. I just have to figure out where all it goes. I don't know how the vacuum, the brake assist comes off of this then. And that seems okay. Well, so far so good. I think it's coming along. Not sure if I want to leave this. Not sure if I want to leave this mess up here. Gosh, I just wonder where all it went. It's got to be stashed away somewhere. Heck, there's definitely something living somewhere in here. So I was here 2-3 weeks ago and had a perfect Wendy's napkin, and something got to it already. So something's gonna miss their home here. I can't wait to get this home and pressure wash it so I can actually see everything I want to see. So, fires up good. Battery seems to be holding some amps. Check the headlights, fog lights, all that stuff's still working. I always like the fog lights on these over the Blazers or the Jimmies. I actually kind of like the Bravada trim over all the other ones, but the hazard lights, even license plate lights are still working. Where's the hazard lights? Right here. All right, says those are flashing. We got corner lights. Yep, on the front. Got tail lights. Yep. Cool. I could use some love in there. Surprised these actuators are still working. I don't know if that button works. You have to hold it? No. Yeah, I don't think that button works anymore. I don't know why I'm worried about bees being in there, but oh, just a quarter turn. This would help if you could see. The fuel system looks clean. Haven't heard or found any leaks yet, which I'm kind of surprised. I-97 fuel lines were shot. I wonder if I can find a date code. Oh, I also got the windows rolled down. Something leaking there on the axle. Look at that. Where'd it go? There it is. There's my bit. I'll have to make sure to look for my socket. Cool. I can't get in here enough to see the date code. Climbed over here under the passenger side. Front tire. Guess they're a little older than I thought. '36th week of 2015, so they were bought at the same time and they're all the same tire. So 2015, that's 8 years old on these tires that are basically brand new. Ah, dang it. A little bit of dry rot in there. You have to see how. Yeah, I've got dry rot. That wasn't even the end of the side that was down in the dirt. So I'll have to see how these do. I'd rather not put a set of tires on it. But it's got the pinstripe. Pinstripe down the side, the old leather seats. I'm gonna have to go through this and see what that sucker was folded over for Lord knows how long. But oh, it's hazards. I was like, what is clicking in here? Not even about to try the sunroof. Unless I'm able to get it in my garage after I break it. Nice, all the doors are back and working. She needs a bath real bad. Windows are working. Check the other side. Yep. All 4 windows are working. I would have to imagine the sunroof is going to work. Always did work before. Should probably check that temp. Make sure she's not getting hot. Nope, she's still under 210. Oil pressure, don't know what it's doing. Fuel gauge also doesn't know really what it's doing. When I backed it up, it went all the way to full. So, let's see, these work normal. Left. Oh yeah. Honestly, slightly surprised by the computer, not having computer issues. I forgot I clicked that down to try and keep the headlights off. But, alright, I might just keep moving it around and see if, see how the brakes feel, just going up and down the driveway here. And I'll give you an update. Well, I made it back home, sitting in my garage, and was just kind of thinking about everything on my way home. And got the Bravada pretty much roadworthy enough to make the 5 or 6 miles to my house. Had my wife take me down and follow me home and all that later on tonight. Due to its unsightliness, I would prefer to not attract attention, and even though it's all back roads, but just gonna take it easy and drive it home, and hope that brakes keep working and it keeps running. But just thought it was interesting. My uncle gave me this, gave me the window sticker along with some paperwork. I was going through it, and I cannot believe in 1999 that an Oldsmobile Bravada was $32,995. I mean, to me, that's got to be, I don't know, that's got to be $70,000 SUV in today's world. But it's just kind of funny, all the things that at 99 they seem to think were you know, tip-top safety features and upgrades and whatnot. But yeah, let's see, what was the electric sliding glass sunroof, 750, 6-disc compact disc changer mounted in center console with the steering wheel with radio controls, $125, $395, $750. So that was the added options. But I'm not too sure if the heated seats were an option in 99 or if it was in the 2000, 2001. But I do know that some came with the heated seats. But yeah, for what it was, I think it was a well-optioned vehicle in its time. And can't even believe that some people paid $32,000, $33,000 for a vehicle in 99. But yeah, I think in 2004 he purchased it from a lot for, he says, well, the title says $8,000, but I can't imagine in 3 years' time did it drop that much value. But it had, it did have over 100,000. I had 104. Let's see here, 104,603 in 2004. So he's put not even 50K on it since he bought it in 04. I think initially he was driving quite a bit, and then when he purchased a Mazda 3 in 08, 09, and that became his daily highway running vehicle. So this became the backup for their household. And so I imagine 40K was put on in the first 5 years of ownership, and then nothing since then. So but anyhow, I'll probably make a video tonight driving it home, and hopefully that all goes well. I've got the battery disconnected just to see if it on its own holds a charge for 5 hours till I can get back to it. And hopefully I just hook the ground up, and hopefully it'll fire right up and clean the windshield and the mirrors off. But I think I forgot to get the windows, but windshield and mirrors, so I can at least see straight. So we'll see you then. All right, didn't really start the camera till now, but about half mile down the road, and we're moving. Wife's behind me. And so far so good. We're coming up on temperature a little bit. Brake lights on. I don't know, brakes are kind of there. Just filled the reservoir completely and got it and fired it up through and drive, and we're doing it. So a couple more miles, make it home. Fingers crossed all the wheels stay on and we make it. Apparently we got full tank of gas now. I don't know how that happens, but we shall see. Home sweet home. It's always a nerve-wracking time driving a car that hasn't been on the road in a long time. On the road. But, oh, ABS. I don't know why that keeps kicking in at low speeds, but... Alright, well, get her parked, get her shut down, and she's home. She needs cleaned up. Alright, well, she made the maiden voyage home, and she's parked here, and I think this will pretty much conclude this first part. If you're still watching, I appreciate you watching. I've never really made a YouTube video before, at least to this extent, but yeah, I think the next video will probably be covering cleaning it up. I'd rather not work on anything too mechanical until I can go through and clean out all the gunk out of the wheels. And it was definitely a smelly voyage. Once I got it parked, there was smoke coming out of the wheel wells and stuff. There's all kinds of needles and debris stashed in all the wheel wells. But next part is going to be me going through and cleaning it up, giving it a bath, getting into the interior, cleaning the interior up, and kind of gauge where it's at from there. I think the seal popped all the way out, but got a little battery tender. I just stuck the plug in there, but it's running to the battery up front. Figured I'd put it in there just to keep it out of the elements, but little extension cord plugged in. But yeah, it made it without too much issue. Had probably 10% brakes. Started cleaning them off a little bit, but I still think it's going to need rotors and pads all the way around. But anyhow, hope to keep this going and provide a couple more videos of bringing back this 99 Olds Bravada, and appreciate you watching.